Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dial-It-In Workinar, where we are going to be exploring and sharing 3 tricks to speaking universe more fluently. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Let me know in the chat who's here, where you are, so I can officially welcome you into this space where, oh my goodness, I'm feeling so much energy, so much excitement. And I'm just so delighted to be here with you today. So thank you for being here. Let me know again who's here, where you are. Hello, Kathleen. Yay. Yay with you and the universe. Amazing. Stevie Lynn, hello from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Kathy, just outside Atlanta. Hello, Angie. Nice to see you here. Thank you for being here. How exciting to have all of you. Hello, Michelle from Vancouver, and Barbara in Trinidad and Tobago. Hello, Carol in Florida. Katie, good morning from Oregon. Yes, welcome. Tracy from Arizona. So glad to have you here, Tracy. I have to leave early. Hope a record. Yes, we will make a recording available. Hello, Kathy. Another Kathy from Los Angeles, and Michelle from Northern California. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Please continue to share who's here and where you are as we fully arrive here in this beautiful moment. Let's just take a moment to pause, close the eyes, and presence ourselves with the breath. And as we take a nice deep breath in all the way deep into the belly, imagining the breath reaching all the way down to the tailbone. Oh, just feeling the aliveness of the breath, feeling how the body responds to that very intentional approach to breathing, and letting us relax as we exhale. Taking another nice deep inhale. Deep into the belly, expanding into the lungs. Oh, yes, maybe bringing those shoulders down and back, and exhaling to completion, maybe pushing out that breath at the very end of the exhale and arriving fully, completely present, aware, relaxed, and available for what we're going to be doing today here in Dial It In. And I am just, again, so delighted to be here sharing this information. And we will be here for 60 minutes exactly. I have a hard stop at noon my time. So I invite you to close all the tabs on your computer, turn off your notifications, put your phone on airplane mode if you're on your computer, grab a journal and a beverage, and just really settle in for what I am going to be sharing with you. And I do hope that you can stay on until the end of this presentation. I'm going to be sharing a special announcement, a sneak peek, and of course, bonuses, because I love to give generously. And also just to acknowledge we have a lot going on in our world right now. So I just want to say that sometimes we need to recalibrate. Sometimes you need to be very gentle with yourself, how you might be responding to world events, and always be reminded that whatever is going on in the world is usually some reminder or an invitation for us to be doing the work and set ourselves firmly on the path of exploring what role we can play, what responsibility we can take for ourselves, for our healing, and moving towards living and embodying a higher vibration so that we can initiate true change, lasting change in this world. So whatever that means to you, I hope that you receive that invitation for your highest good. And my intention with this webinar today is that all of these teachings will reach you for your highest good. So there we go. I am Helena Grant, transformational life and business coach, launch expert, certified existential king practitioner, 200-hour yoga teacher, as well as a summit creation coach. So multidisciplinary. I love to learn. I love to teach. I'm also an adventurer. I am a mother of 2 young, beautiful souls. and I am a logophile. I love words so much. Words are spells to me. Words are magic. Words hold so much meaning. They connect us to the past. They can deliver medicine, and they're just so extraordinary to me. Every word, every sound means so much. I love, love, love language. So I always love to share that. And obviously that will be a big part of us exploring these 3 tricks on how to speak universe more fluently. So let me know in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10. I keep hitting my clipboard here. I love handwritten notes. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how responsive do you feel the universe is to you? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. How responsive do you feel the universe is when you set out to manifest something? When you set out to state what you want and receive back from the universe what you've stated you want? How responsive does it feel? Ooh, Stevie Lynn says 25, 5-ish. Okay, 5-ish. Okay, halfway on the scale. I like that. Thank you, Stevie Lynn. Kathy says 5 to 6, amazing. Katie, 7 to 8. In King's TT, 7. Nice, magical number on 7. Okay, Angie says 3. All right, well, you're on the spectrum, Angie. Amazing, beautiful. Kathy says 7. Whatever number is coming to you is exactly right. You don't have to second guess it. Totally perfect. All numbers welcome here. But yeah, so sort of generally a mid-range here. A mix of numbers, definitely completely understandable and great for us to work with here. Carol says 2. Okay, Carol, again, 2 is better than 1 though. Diane says really responsive, but often the things I don't want. Ooh, Diane, I love, thank you so much for sharing that. I am a shadow integration reveler. And so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Michelle says 7 to 8, and Inking says it matters. You can change Inkings to Barbara. Oh, great. Thank you, Barbara. Yes, I appreciate that. Okay, so continue to tune in to how responsive you feel the universe is to you. Be totally honest here. Welcoming honesty, always full honesty, because when we're totally honest and when we recognize and acknowledge what's going on, then we can work with it, then we can relate to it, then we can maybe change it or maybe understand it in a whole new way. So again, all numbers welcome. Laura, 5, beautiful. Okay, so yeah, let's start to dive in here. And just to let you know as well, at the end, I'm going to let you know now that the sneak peek is in regards to my Attunement course, which is starting March 21st. And it is really just an incredible journey of aligning with the 12 universal laws, paired with the 12 chakras, paired with the 12 archetypes. And this course is for torchbearer entrepreneurs ready to transform their lives and just initiate unstoppable, unshakable confidence in everything that they are doing. And torchbearer entrepreneurs, you might be a writer, you might be a poet, you might be an artist, you might be a tarot reader, an astrologer, so many variations of what that might mean to you. But essentially, this is for the people that are trying to light the way towards all of us living in higher vibration. So really exciting stuff to share with you that I have been working with my guides called The Kite on delivering through the attunement journey. Okay, so that was just in my notes to make sure I share, and let us get started with the sharing. And quickly to get us squared away, share screen. Yes, here we go. Everybody wants to know how to dial it in and find out what the 3 tricks are to speaking universe more fluently. So I imagine that many of you have some understanding of how the universe works. And I talked a lot about this in my Quantum Focus Workinar last week. You can find that on my YouTube channel. The origins of the universe are that the universe is constantly creating itself, constantly making sounds and responding to those sounds over and over and over again. And we are, of course, our own universe, a reflection of it. We are a microcosm within the macrocosm. So just some principles to sort of paint the picture of what we're talking about here and dial it in so that you can be speaking universe more fluently. You hear a lot about manifestation, being an energetic match for what you want, being more high vibe, positive thinking, all very valued and valid aspects of manifestation. However, there are a lot of missing nutrients in all of that. And so that is why I want us all speaking universe more fluently. So here we go. First of all, universe. As the logophile that I am, of course, I wanted to provide some etymology and some insights with some synonyms and some definitions. So when you look at the word universe and you split it up, uni means one and verse means song. It is the one song. So if we have an entity of being, an intelligence like the universe that is one song, every sound is a part of the song. So it's this orchestra that's playing, this symphony that is playing constantly. And we are instruments within this orchestra and this symphony, within the overall one song that is being played continuously, made up of the fabric. The cosmic matrix is made up of love and light. That's why you hear in a lot of spirituality circles about the concept of love and light. But we are not light washing here. We are really deeply understanding that a huge part of the universe, in fact, 95% of it, they have found, is made up of dark matter that scientists cannot explain, they do not understand, and so they just assign it 95% of the universe is made up of dark matter. We don't understand it, we can't explain it, but it is highly generative and something is coming out of it. It seems to be very organized, it seems to be very intelligent, but they can't fully grasp it because material science is very limited in its perspectives for all of the extraordinary advancements and benefits that it has provided our modern society. So the actual etymology of the word universe is universum. So universum, sum is the whole, like what is the result, and literally means turned into one. So all one. Synonyms are cosmos, macrocosm, nature, everything, natural world, and I love the totality. I actually added that in there. That wasn't on etymology online. But the totality, the whole of everything, absolutely everything, the limitless, the nameless, the totality. Also, I sort of interchangeably use God, universe, source, spirit. I mix all of those up, but for today's purposes, I really wanted to work with the terminology of universe because it seems a little bit more accessible to people and it doesn't come with the same implications as the word God might. Feel free to insert whatever you want here. I also love infinite intelligence, endless intelligence. Feel free to share with me what terminology you like to use for God. I always love to hear that. God, universe, source, what are some words that you like to use? Pop that in the chats. I would love to know. And Stevie Lynn, hi to your hubby. Angie says spirit, wonderful. So as you are sharing what your word is for God, source, the universe, I came to the realization as I was putting this presentation together that the universe is essentially one giant unconscious mind. The universe is so abundantly loving, constantly creating itself, highly generative, very fertile. It is just like the unconscious mind that all of us have and that all of us share as humans. We have a collective unconscious that is always at work, always at play, just like the universe is always at play in its creation process. So it is just one giant unconscious mind, which is essentially power without direction. And the power is always going to be creating itself over and over again, constantly making sounds, continuously responding to itself, but it needs direction. And it loves to receive direction from us about what we want, what we need, what we're desiring. And it always wants to respond in some way. And sometimes that response might not seem to line up with what we think we want, but it's because we're not speaking fluently the language of the universe, because we need to be recognizing that we are working with this very fertile ground of the unconscious mind of the totality of the universe. I'm going to pause there and check in with the comments about your word for God. So again, Angie says spirit. Lisa says source. Love that. McCameron says great spirit. Beautiful. Marianne, all. Yes, all. Absolutely. Stevie Lynn says, I use all of the above, LOL, it's all love. Yes. Oh, I love using love. Yes. Marianne says conscious mind. Laura, the field. Yes, I definitely resonate with that as well, especially with all the research around quantum physics and quantum focusing. Patricia says God. Yes, I do love God too, even with the history behind it and the implications that sometimes can not necessarily align with my views and my teachings. Michelle says really links to the concept of Ein Sof and Kether in the Tree of Life. Absolutely, Michelle. I'm actually reading God as a Verb right now. I don't know if you're familiar with that book, but I love Kabbalah. There's just so much information there for us. Kathleen says, I am now a devotee of universe. Thank you for this. Haha, university it is. Amazing, Kathleen. We can't wait to hear more about your university. And Kathy says nature. Yes, exactly. Nature. Beautiful, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing all of that insight into what your word is for God, the universe, source, etc. So now let's get going with the problem, the disconnect that might be going on in your life. Oh yes, also creator. Absolutely. And so it's so easy for us in this left brain oriented modern materialist society to look for the problems, the blockages, the things that are wrong and need to be fixed. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, starting with the problem is a great place to orient yourself as to what is going on, where there might be a disconnect. And I would love to encourage you to use more empowering language when you're like, well, what's the problem here? What needs to be solved? To look at any problems or disconnects as opportunities and invitations, because just feel how that expands in your system, how your body opens up. Instead of like, what's the problem here? You say, what's the opportunity here? What am I being invited to do in this situation? Because we get challenged. And it's not that the universe wants to test or challenge us. It's again, more about this call and response that is going on, the conversation that is occurring between you and the universe. The universe wants to know quantus. When you say, I want something, it says quantus, meaning how much. And it's testing you. It's feeling you out to see how much of what you say you want, you are willing to receive. So this is why you hear a lot about being an energetic match for what you want, because you might not actually unconsciously be ready to receive it, to work with it, to fully accept it. And so because of this disconnect that exists, that we're not speaking the same language, we're like kind of speaking the same language, it's a little spotty, the connection isn't quite secure, it's there, we know it's available, we've heard about it, we understand it consciously. How do we make it wholly understandable? How do we live the language? Not just learn the language in a classroom, but really live it, truly embody it, fluently speaking universe. So the universe is like, oh, you understand me, you know what language to use when you're speaking to me so that I can respond to you in the ways that you really are desiring me to respond to you. So the problem is that we've been phoning it in. We've been phoning it in with our complaints, feeling bad and shameful and guilty about ourselves. Again, very ingrained in our modern materialistic society to feel bad, guilty, wrong, and shameful, because that benefits some people that are maybe trying to uphold an old paradigm that isn't working anymore, and the desperation. So the complaints, again, this doesn't mean that you can't complain. And I think a lot of manifestation teachers are like, oh, you have to be positive all the time. Well, guess what? The really powerful positivity comes from recognizing the negative, because the positive doesn't exist without the negative, and vice versa. But the problem is that when we start complaining, we get into a habit of complaining. We get into a habit of feeling bad, shameful, guilty. It's very easy. It's very ingrained in our systems, in our brains, even in our bodies, to feel this way and to respond to what we think the response is in a way that's just like not good enough. I'm not good enough. What I've received is not good enough. This isn't what I want. And it just is this cycle over and over and over again, which leads to the desperation that we get desperate. I didn't get what I want. I'm not good at manifesting. Now I can't have what I want. And I have to like act in a desperate way that is acting out scarcity and really, you know, in enhancing this illusion of scarcity. It's like holding it up when we act from a place, come from a place, think from a place, feel from a place of desperation. The universe can't, it's desperate is constricted. Desperate is feeling fearful. Desperate is, oh, I need to stay hidden. I need to stay invisible. I need to stay safe. And so then the universe can't move through us when we're in a place of desperation. So always an opportunity and an invitation, even when you find yourself complaining, feeling bad, wrong, shameful, or guilty about yourself, or feeling desperate. These are not problems. These are opportunities and invitations. Hello, Cam from Medicine Hat. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, Linda. Okay, so now the solution, the healing, the what to do. This. Ooh, I have chills. Yeah. You're like, bring it on, Helena. You showed me the problem. You helped me identify the opportunity, the invitation. I want to know what to do. I want to know how I can act, how I can actively be creating with the universe, calling out and responding to and receiving. So, time to dial it in with our 3 tricks to speaking universe more fluently. And these are very contrary probably to a lot of teachings in the manifestation space, because again, I come from a shadow integration perspective, psycho-spirituality, where we are working with the mind and the body, the psyche and the soma, the conscious and the unconscious mind. The unconscious is right here, programmed into our body, 500 years of direct genetic information right here, right now, ready to be accessed and utilized and leveraged. Okay, so number 1 in our 3 tricks, the intentional wallow. And I'm going to get more deeply into these, but write these down. They don't rhyme. I prefer when I do these teachings that there's rhyming in quantum focus. It was release, grease, and increase, and people love that. Maybe I'll find a way to make these rhyme, but this is how they came through when I was creating this presentation, the intentional wallow. Number 2, affirmative, fertile language, utilizing affirmative, fertile language. And number 3 is dispel the illusion of lack and scarcity, because it is an illusion. We live in an endlessly abundant, deeply loving universe that constantly wants to give and provide for us. And sometimes we need to do that for ourselves. We need to feel resourced. We need to meet our own needs. And a lot of times what is going to be met is going to come through the channels of other people, because of course we are all one with the one that is the universe. Okay, so here we go, getting more specific. The art of the intentional wallow. And I actually designed this practice for myself when I was going through a difficult time in the early stages of my pregnancy with my son, as a geriatric pregnancy. Because of my age, I was being fed all of this fear around what could possibly go wrong. And they were putting me through all kinds of tests and of course awaiting the tests. Anyways, I came to a place where I was awaiting news about something they thought they found. It could be this, it could be that, blah, 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 blah. My son is beautiful, perfect, and unbelievably healthy, by the way. But when I was going through this experience, I found myself feeling very rocked by it. And I just was sort of going through my list of all of my amazing support that I have available to me, my loved ones, my friends. And I just wasn't finding anyone that I was going to be able to share the ways that I was feeling with in a way that I felt like I was going to receive what I needed. So I created the Intentional Wallow, where I utilize a timed container, so much potency in a timed container. So this is what you do. You set a timer for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever feels good to you. And the timed container allows the subconscious mind to totally relax. And just a note, I use subconscious and unconscious interchangeably. They're the same thing. Sometimes we think the subconscious mind is a little bit closer, a little bit more accessible. But really it's all the same. It's all either conscious or unconscious. So it allows that unconscious mind to relax, knowing that the time is set, there is a boundary in place, and so that it can go even deeper, because it's not going to be leaking out anywhere. It's in a timed container. It's being held in a time-bound place. And then you just go all out, feeling so sorry for yourself in a way that no one else can feel sorry for you. No one else can truly understand what you're going through. And sometimes the people that love you are going to try and help you. They're going to try and help move you through what you're experiencing. They don't want to feel bad themselves. You don't want to make them feel bad for how bad you're feeling. And it just goes in this spiral downwards. So give it to yourself. Intentionally wallow. Again, short timed containers to just feel really bad and just sort of say, God, this sucks. This really sucks. And I wish it was better. I wish it was different. I wish I could change, whatever's coming up for you, fully, truly feel it and allow yourself to indulge the shadow, because your unconscious mind, AKA the universe, that is you, is highly generative and playing a huge role in whatever is being created in your life. And this isn't to make you feel bad or wrong for things that don't feel so great in your life that you don't like. It's just to say that you are the creator. You are your own universe. You are the microcosm of you in the macrocosm of the universe. So you just take this time, and this is very existential kink oriented, where you just allow yourself to feel bad. You're not trying to change it. You just indulge the shadow with the intentional wallow. Hello, Annie from Spokane. Kathleen says, what WTF, they call it geriatrics, such ignorance. I know, it's the materialist science here. And Stevie Lynn says they did something similar with my pregnancy because I'm a big girl. My son is almost 4 now. Oh, beautiful, Stevie Lynn. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, it was a rough ride, but I'm on the other side and so grateful for everything that has come of it. Okay, so number 2, employ affirmative and fertile language. This is such a good one here. Michelle says, I feel like I'm with allies here on this. Yeah, you are. We are all allies. We can take a little sip of water. And I hate to play favorites, but this is my favorite one. Number 2, employ affirmative and fertile language. So it's really easy, again, to sort of stray towards the negative. So easy, so easy. And that doesn't mean that it's wrong or bad to do that. I say, start with the negative and find the positive. The thing is, the universe, the unconscious mind, does not hear the negative. So when you say, I don't want X, what is your unconscious mind, the highly generative aspect of you, AKA the universe, actually hear? If it doesn't hear the negative, I don't want X. What does it hear? It hears, I do want X. It doesn't hear the negative. It doesn't register. It literally is not available. It doesn't translate in the language of the universe. It only hears the positive. So even if you think you're saying, I don't want this, I don't like this, the universe only hears, I do want this, I do like this. So when you find yourself, this takes a lot of awareness. This is a practice. You might not get this perfect. And the thing is, however you do it is perfect. Start with the negative. Start with the I don't want, I don't like. Write a list of the I don't want, I don't like, and then find the positive in it and start affirmatively stating what you do want. So a lot of times I'll start with people. I'll say, what don't you want? What don't you like? If you could get rid of anything in your life, what would it be? Share with me in the chat. If you could get rid of anything in your life right now, I'm just going to snap my fingers and it's going to disappear forever. What would it be? It could be in regards to anything. Let me know in your life what you don't like, what you don't want. Tell me what it is and we'll flip it around. I want to hear. So you could say, I don't want ever to feel sick again. And flipping that around, we say, I want to feel healthy and vibrant all the time. Well rested. Okay, Stevie Lynn, here we go. We've got it coming in here. Clutter of things and low vibe emotions. Okay, so Stevie, what is the opposite of the clutter? I don't want clutter and low vibe emotions. So what do you want? I want a house that vibrates with harmony, and I want high vibe emotions. See how that turns the negative into more affirmative, fertile language. You're stating what you want, not stating what you don't want. Because again, the universe can't hear the don't want. It only hears the do want. Angie says money debt. Okay, so what's the amazing, Angie, universe, I don't want money debt. So what do you want, Angie? I want a bank account that's just overflowing with money so that I can move to a fertile, lush, green place that just fills my spirit with inspiration so I can be doing my writing more fluidly. And you can tailor that in the way that feels good to you. So start with the don't want, start with the negative because there's so much gold there, but make sure that you are working with it from an affirmative and fertile place of stating what you do want. Okay, so I'm seeing I don't want limitations of the possible. Okay, so I want unlimited possibilities. And I would love for you, Kay Moran, to really ground down into what that means. That if you do want limitless possibilities, what does that mean to you? What does your life look like when you have that? What does that mean? Sheena says low finances. Okay, so great. I don't want low finances is what Sheena is saying to the universe. So what do you want? I want finances that are robust and make me feel like I'm creating and leaving a legacy in this world so that I can serve more fully, more wholly, and I can be donating in ways that make me feel so good and know that I'm contributing to creating a new paradigm. Try that on for size, Sheena. But again, tailor this to what feels good to you, what's accessible, because the most affirmative and fertile language is going to be very easy for you to use and accessible. You know, if it's too complicated for you, you're going to end up in the don't want, don't like territory. Again, that's where we start, but we utilize that, transform it, find the opposite, flip the negative into the positive. Affirmative, fertile language. Yes. Okay, number 3, dispel the illusion of lack and scarcity. So I was sharing with a friend yesterday. I saw it was a notification. I'm pretty sure it was the Wall Street Journal, and I did not explore further, but I just saw this notification come in the other day that there was like, you know, to counterbalance what's happening economically with all of the instability and turmoil that is going on right now in Europe, Russia, Ukraine, that they were releasing all these barrels of oil that they just have on reserve for exactly this kind of situation. But of course, we're programmed to think that there's only a certain amount, what's the output, and that influences, the economy. And the fact is, there are these reserves of oil. So that is obviously very Western oriented economics, but that to me is representative of how the universe also operates, that there is always more than enough. Again, the abundant love that it is trying to deliver. And the illusion of lack and scarcity, again, is deeply ingrained into our modern materialist society, and also ingrained into our consciously oriented way of showing up in the world, interacting with the world. And we actually, a shadow aspect of us finds some sort of motivation, maybe some kind of entertainment. It's getting something out of the experience of lack and scarcity. This aligns a little bit with the concept of we're pretty much all God, but God got really bored being omnipotent and omnipresent everywhere. So God wanted to experience the constriction and the limitations that are reflected in these concepts of lack and scarcity. So to dispel this illusion, which is a total illusion, call it out. When you see it happening, when you check your bank balance and you see that it's low or it's not high enough, be like, I see you lack in scarcity. I see you, I recognize you. Because when we recognize something, then we can work with it, then we can relate to it, then we can transform it. Call it out, even out loud, speak it, because we're speaking universe here, and the universe loves to hear the sounds that we make. Obviously, our thoughts, our emotions, all vibrations, all energy, but the spoken word, speak the words of calling it out, and definitely speak the words of I want. Call it out. I see you lack in scarcity, and then make yourself unavailable. I am unavailable for you, illusion of lack and scarcity. I see you trying to play with me and engage with me and get some sort of response from me, and I'm just not available to you. I am making myself available for a new way of speaking universe and showing up in the world, dialing it in instead of phoning it in, and really taking the reins of my life and my co-creative process of making manifest what I most want in this world. And it's a lot of things, universe, so get ready. I know you're going to show me lots of lack and scarcity along the way. Provide these illusions for me to keep me on the path, to keep challenging me, to grow and really employ my tools and show you that I'm listening and that I'm working with you. So make yourself unavailable. And I know that's the negative right there. So making yourself unavailable, you're making yourself available for something else after you have called it out. I see you lack in scarcity. I'm unavailable because I'm making myself available for a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new way of showing up. And then engage in some contrary behavior. So now this does not mean if you have a negative bank account to continue the negative, like withdrawals. No. But what sort of contrary behavior can support you taking action towards demonstrating that you are making yourself available for a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new way of showing up? So this could be absolutely anything, but essentially you're ritualizing the fact that you are doing things differently. So contrary behavior could be, I see you, low bank balance, and I'm going to go I'm just going to go look for all the loose change that is in my house, in my apartment, in my car, and I'm going to collect that all. And I'm just going to feel so rich and so wealthy with that. And maybe I'm going to put it on my altar. Maybe I'm going to go buy something with it, whatever it is. But essentially you engage in some sort of behavior that is the total opposite of what your normal response would be to the lack and scarcity. And then, very empowering here, you say, I see you with this reaction to lack and scarcity. I'm going to reassign you, because the reaction to the lack and scarcity is probably an aspect of you that's trying to protect you. It's trying to work with you. It definitely has something for you, because you are a whole self You are a universe. So everything is valuable and valid, from the thoughts to the blockages, from the visions to the hurdles. All of it is important. All of it is needed. All of it has intelligence in it. So maybe it needs a new assignment. And I love to say that even the things that we think are demons within us might just be angels in disguise, or maybe they just haven't been assigned to do angelic work. They've been demonized because it seems like they are running contrary to what we really want to be doing, how we want to be showing up in the world. And they just need to be recognized, related to, and given a new assignment. And so what can we do to dispel the illusion of lack and scarcity? We give it a new assignment, because again, it's operating on some level in some way for your benefit in order to provide this love, this intelligence of the universe, continuously, constantly creating itself, responding to you, and wanting to give abundantly to you. It's endlessly resourced, endlessly resourced. Kathleen says, ooh, here's a good one. I don't want to feel stressed and late with my launches, like they're not going to be successful. That's lack and scarcity right there. Instead, my launches are happening at the perfect time and in the perfect way, woven into my life as it is, and always successful. See how much more empowering that is? That is speaking universe fluently, Kathleen. Brava. Saw that with the release of money around COVID. Yes, exactly. Patricia says, can you give an example? An example of what, Patricia? Finding a new assignment? Let me know what you want an example of. Finding a new assignment. Okay, well, what's a demon or a block that you have, Patricia? Give me some direction on that, and I will absolutely give more of an example on finding a new assignment for that demon. I'm into healing. Amazing. Yes, I am too. Yeah, and sometimes we have these parts of ourselves that have been driven into the unconscious. They've been repressed, denied, set aside. We don't understand them. We think we shouldn't feel that way. So this gets into the shouldn't, the can't, the don't want. That is the negative language that the universe does not understand. So that is where we can start with really employing the more affirmative, fertile language. And again, look at what Kathleen did in the comments. She just turned that right around. Patricia, yes, tell me the demon, tell me the block, give it to me, and then we will create an example for you. So an example for one of my clients, she was an acupuncturist prior to COVID, and she had to move on everything online. She had to close her practice and move everything online. And she found that she just had this really significant aspect of herself that she had survived cancer, and but still had this guilt around how she interacted with death and the role that death was playing in her life. And so she sort of looked at that as like a beast or a demon that was really interfering with her moving forward in her life and her business. And so the work that we did together was reassigning what we thought was this, what she thought was this sort of death demon, that it was always hanging over her, that she was going to die or the cancer was going to come back. And we were able to reassign that beast, that demon, to help her be like, oh my God, every minute is so precious. I am so here for it. I can be so joyful because at any minute I could die. I have touched that. So it was really reversing the flow around her interaction and the way she related to this aspect of herself. Okay. Oh, Patricia, no professional success, last launch unsuccessful. Okay. So let's see here. First of all, looking at finding the tadas. Patricia, find the tadas. What did you do right? What happened that was of benefit, that you could even find some sort of inkling of success, even if it didn't meet your consciously chosen goal. What you thought was going to come of it, what you thought you wanted was going to come of it, didn't happen. And it's so easy to focus on what you didn't get. Absolutely understandable. First, start with the intentional wallow. Let yourself fully feel the disappointment, the rage, the anger. Oh yeah, let those emotions fully move through you. I'd say just start with the 15 minutes. You'll be able to go a little bit deeper with the 15 minutes, and then do a to-do list where you see what actually did go well, that your conscious ego-driven mind is telling you not good enough, terrible, wrong, bad, you are a failure. Because there actually is no, even failures are successes, even successes are failures. This is the duality that we live in. And so bringing a very consciously chosen non-dual perspective, recognizing that actually in what a part of you perceives as a failure, you actually do have some successes, and the universe wants to give to the grateful heart. So where can you find, even if you can't access the gratitude around this quote unquote unsuccessful launch, where can you find some sort of appreciation or some sort of recognition for all the effort that you put in, and you got something out of it, at least one thing. Maybe they were lessons, maybe they were challenges, maybe there's something that you want to understand more. Yes, so much potency here for you, Patricia. Again, though, start with that intentional wallow. Let yourself fully feel the disappointment, the grief that this launch didn't go as well as you wanted it to. And find the ta-das, ta-da, and then celebrate yourself and express that appreciation. And maybe you can find some gratitude as well to the universe for what it did give you, even if you don't fully understand it, and even if you haven't fully integrated what has come of it. Okay, so Stevie Lynn says, how do you combat the fear around abilities? I know I can read tarot and do Reiki, but I'm not confident enough to do it. Stevie, I understand that so much, and I can't wait to share these slides around attunement, because I think this is why I'm downloading and delivering attunement to the world. Patricia says, okay, très bien, Patricia, love it. Okay, Laura, how do you reassign the fear of being poor? Okay. And Angie says, how do you reassign victim mentality, shadow aspect? Okay, great. Oh yes, Patricia says it. I understand. And the to-do list. Amazing, Patricia. Okay, so fear around abilities, fear and victim mentality. All right, so a way to reassign fear. Number one is, I love to say, hear the fear. Hear it. What is it trying to say to you? How is it trying to help you? And there are a lot of practices to do around this, but just start in with saying, fear, I hear you. Maybe do some journaling. Again, a timed container, Stevie Lynn, can be very beneficial. Speak to fear as if it is a person, its own entity, its own intelligence, because fear and desire are really actually two sides of the same coin. So within your greatest fears are beautiful, extraordinary desires. And within your beautiful and extraordinary desires are also great fears. They work in tandem. And so recognize the fears, relate to the fears, and then reverse the fears. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So we've got 3 R's there. Recognize, relate, and reverse the fears. Flip the fear on its head once you've recognized it, related to it, and then you reverse it. And that is how you find the new assignment for. So likely the fear around your abilities is because you feel like you're going to be rejected, or someone's going to tell you that you're crazy. You can dive in a little bit more here, Stevie. What are your greatest fears around having abilities? Excavate those fears, explore them, recognize them, relate to them with the hearing the fear, and then reverse them. And that gives them the new assignment. So it's like, okay, well, you're trying to keep me small, trying to keep me safe. I recognize you for what you're doing. I relate to you in a way that I just really appreciate you, fear, for what you're trying to do. And now we're going to reverse that because I'm actually in charge and we're going to do great things in the world. And we're just going to receive so much from that. Okay. And Laura, you can do that same thing with the fear of being poor. So what is that fear around being poor? How is it trying to benefit you? What is it trying to do for you? It might be misguided. It might not make logical sense, but it is trying to do something for you, even if that doesn't seem right or good at all. There's something in there. So hear the fear of being poor, recognize it, relate to it, and reverse it. What's the opposite of the fear of being poor? What is the opposite for you, Laura? What's the reversal? And then assign that fear. Say, okay, fear of being poor, this is actually your new job over here because I want to be abundantly wealthy and it's going to feel so good and I'm going to feel so safe being in that secure financial position. So this is your new job. And you can literally write a contract for it, or you can just write the job description. These are your new jobs. This is your new assignment. Find the new assignment. Angie, same thing with the victim. So recognize the victim mentality and relate to it and reverse it. So I hope the examples I shared can help you. I've been wallowing without a timer, says Carol. Lost everything. Oh my goodness. Okay, you got to do, you said, I've been doing it without a timer. You've stayed in the wallowing space. So that's the thing. You have to set the timer. And maybe this is a daily practice for you, Carol. Wallow about how you've wallowed for 2.5 years, but only 15 minutes a day. And that's it. That's what you allot yourself. And just let it be the practice. It's almost like, you know, drinking a cup of water, and wallow about what has happened in you being in this wallowing space, and only that time container. That's it. Otherwise, you're transforming those wallowing thoughts into fertile and affirmative language and reassigning the lack and scarcity that has probably been at play. And I wish you all the best with making those transitions. Okay, so before I get to my next final 3 slides here, I am putting into the comments the link to the attunement page where you can find more information about this 3-month journey where you are going to experience a plethora of multi-modality perspectives to help you align with the 12 universal laws, which are the structure of the universe, how the universe operates, and the 12 chakras, because there are 12. We focus a lot on the 7 because, you know, that's in the body. So these 12 actually extend above and 1 below the body. And there are so many more than 12, but for this course, we're going to be working with 12, and the 12 archetypes, because that enables us to work with the light and the shadow of the archetypes that show up in regards to the universal laws. So here we go. This is a sneak peek inside attunement. This is the key. So there are 12 keys in the mandala that is the supportive structure of the attunement work that we'll be doing. So here we go. At the bottom, we have the law number, we have the chakra, the zodiac, which relates to the archetype, and the archetype gives us the information about the light and the shadow. So attunement is a metaphysical boot camp where you're going to be layering in information from various perspectives so that you can bring into the body your understanding and truly live the universal laws, not just know what they are, not just have an understanding of them, but truly be them. And when I started more consciously working with the universal laws, I was just blown away. I was like, oh my God, this is how it works. I get it now. I understand the language of the universe, and I am so excited to share this with everyone. Oh my God, it's so amazing. And it's going to absolutely change your life in all the ways that you have been desiring on every level. So this is the key to attunement. This is the mandala that we are working with. My guides gave me this image, and this is sort of a wireframe of it that we're working with right now, and it's going to be expanded upon. There are going to be other layers added onto it, but just so you can get some insight into what we're building this 3-month journey on, starting with this key number 1. This is universal law number 1 of oneness, and then moving up through the chakra, the zodiac, the archetype of mother, and then the light and the shadow of each of the archetypes. So you're just getting a glimpse here. Don't try and absorb it all. It's not meant to be absorbed all at once. It's probably too much for your brain, but just knowing that these really high level concepts are going to be presented in a really easily digestible, very accessible way, so that you can, again, be aligning with, embodying, and truly benefiting from this intelligence, this information that is so available to us, and really deeply desiring to be in deep communion and communication with us, in community with us. Really benefiting from like higher learning of how the universe works. And if everyone could know how the universe works, again, I really think we would be so much more attuned to dispelling the lack and scarcity. We would be freely giving, freely benefiting. Oh my goodness, it would just be so much more beauty, so much more love, being more consciously expressed in our world. So this right here is the key, the mandala of attunement. And then this final slide here, this is a glimpse of the structure and how this mandala is going to expand, and its movement, meditation, and mantra that we're going to be adding on to each of the keys, each of the pieces of the pie for each of the laws, chakras, zodiacs, and archetypes. There's going to be movement, meditation, and a mantra, so that, again, it's very easy for you to start living and embodying these truths, these laws. This is the fabric of the universe, of the cosmic matrix. And it is so organized. It is so intelligent. And it's really, again, we are these instruments. When you go to tune a piano that is making music, but maybe it's not quite the right key, it's a little off key, you don't take anything out of the piano. We're not trying to take anything out. We're working with what's here, what's available, relating to it in a new way, likely reversing some flows. I love to undergo metanoia, and utilizing really accessible tools like movement, meditation, and mantra to make this very livable, very immediate. Immediate results will occur the minute you sign up for attunement. And I'm so excited to share that as I have been working through how I can contribute to what's going on in the world, I'm extending the early bird sale. Right now, attunement is still 50% off. So definitely check out the sales page, find out more information. It is so glorious on the inside. We start March 21st with our first module. We'll be dropping. We have a weekly Q&A throughout the 3 months. I just want you to start tuning in, like just asking yourself, where could I be in 3 months if I feel so fully aligned with how fluently I speak universe that my life is just beautiful. All of my lack and scarcity has just fallen away. I am visible in my business. I am confident in my purpose and my place in the universe, my role in weaving the cosmic matrix and contributing to the new wave paradigm that I see arising and being called for and being called forth to deliver, because you are a torchbearer entrepreneur. It's not about getting rid of the darkness. It's about learning how to see in it for yourself and for the people that you lead. Here we are at the top of the hour. I want to express my sincere and profound gratitude to all of you for being here today, for showing up for yourselves, whether you were here live or watching the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much gratitude to you, so much appreciation for you. I created this presentation for you. This course is for you. It wants to come through you. It wants to live in you and through you. And I cannot wait to welcome you. For the next 5 people who sign up for Attunement, you will receive lifetime access to my last 2 summits, both Quantum Wealth Consciousness and Divine Instruments. That is a bonus worth almost $400. So the next 5 people who enroll, get inside. There is a payment plan. There is no penalty right now for a 6-month payment plan. Bring it on, people. It is time. It is time. You are ready. This is here for you. And I cannot wait to guide you and lead you and welcome you in. Thank you so, so much. Many, many blessings. May this information that you received today integrate fully and completely into all cells, all awareness of your complete and whole being. And may you receive all of it for your highest good. Until the next, so many blessings and so much love to you. Thank you, everyone. Mwah.